You come into the world not with a roar or a howl, but with a quiet, pathetic squeak. You are not a panda. You're something pink and naked and grotesque, the size of a banana, if not a very large one. Mom looks at you with an expression like she is not sure. Is this her baby? Or is it a stray larva? She sniffs. You squeak. You are both confused. You're blind, deaf, helpless, and constantly lost. Literally. You can crawl 15 centimeters away and no longer know where mom is, where her paw is, where you are. Sometimes you find her belly and try her nipple, sometimes her tail, and sometimes you just freeze and scream until mom crawls closer. Or, oh, the horror, lies down on you. Pandas, don't always realize where their babies are, especially if they look like rubber toys without a passport. You survive on milk and luck. It's dark and warm. It smells of bamboo and mom. You live in a cocoon of silence and occasional screams. You sleep, eat, scream, the classic infant triad. But you're growing. Every day is a couple more grams and a millimeter of strength. A little more and you'll become a real panda. Well, almost. For now, you're just a pink sausage with big plans. A month has passed, and a miracle has happened. You no longer look like a living eraser. You have fur, soft, fluffy, with clear black and white spots. You look like a toy, only with a squeaker inside and an expression of slight bewilderment. The world around you slowly takes shape. Your paws are no longer completely alien. You begin to crawl. Well, how to crawl? Roll, fall, spin on your side, and suddenly fall asleep in the process. You open your eyes for the first time. At first, everything is blurry. Then mom appears, huge, like a mountain of fur, with a kind, slightly tired look. She looks at you. You look at her. And a second later, you start gnawing on her ear. Not out of anger, just testing the world for taste. Everything around is potential chewing gum. A paw, a tail, a bedding, your own finger. Sometimes you suddenly squeak, just like that, so that they don't relax. Mom tolerates, licks, moves her nose around you like a sack of potatoes. If you are too active, she carefully places you under her side and lies down on top. This is a kind of maternal, quiet mode. You can now stand a little, sit a little, and fall backwards in an epic fashion. Every day is a revelation. The world is still scary, but you are plump, stubborn, and full of enthusiasm. It's time to go outside. Almost, just a little bit more. And then the day comes when mom decides you're ready. Not for an exam, not for hunting, not for life, just to roll out for the first time. You don't yet know that outside the den is not a rug or walls that you can safely tumble against. It's the world, the real world. Big, loud, prickly, and smelling of everything at once. You slowly roll out after your mother. The sun is shining in your eyes. The ground seems too uneven. Under your paws there is grass, stones, some moving things. And then you see it, bamboo. It is everywhere. Tall, green, noisy. You reach for it, try to bite it, and immediately get hit in the nose with a hard leaf. It's a shame, but you're persistent. You climb the first log you come across. You climb for a long time. You almost win, and then you fall on your back with a crash. 4 paws in the air, belly up, looking at the sky. You're like a philosopher learning about the futility of existence. Mom snorts. She comes over. She turns you over with her nose, like a suitcase. On your walk, you meet birds, bugs, and, most importantly, an anthill. Yes, you stuck your nose in there. Yes, now you're screaming. Lesson learned, not everything soft is friendly. But despite the falls, the bites, and the shock of the wind, for the first time you feel it's interesting outside too, and that means you want more. At just over a year old, you've officially entered your raging panda phase. You're shellless, your claws aren't intimidating yet, but you're still full of confidence. You're no longer the awkward puffer that used to sleep face down in a bowl. You're confident, independent, and still incredibly clumsy. You climb trees, fall down, shake yourself off, and climb again. For what? You don't know, just because you can. Climbing is your new religion, and falling is a rite of passage. You try to growl. It comes out something between a sneeze and a disgruntled, bah! Territory? You have a bush. It's your bush. No one goes there because you've left your marks there, and sometimes you stage shows there with somersaults and imaginary fights. But real encounters with other teenagers are chaos. It starts with posing, then someone pushes, and a minute later you're both rolling on the ground, hugging, squeaking, and eventually lying on your backs together like broken vacuum cleaners. You try to eat something other than bamboo. Grass, bark, flies. Everything is tasteless. Conclusion, bamboo is your destiny. You rebel. Test your boundaries. Pretend to be an adult, but deep down, you're still that same little lump with eyes, just bigger. The time has come. Mom leaves. No pathos, no parting words, no touching scene in the rain. You just wake up one day and she's gone. No paw, no nose, no familiar snort, just silence. Forest and wind-blowing leaves. You understand? You're on your own now. Welcome to autonomous mode. You make yourself a den. It's not a wolf or badger den. You just find a comfortable hole between the rocks where there's no draft, and you can comfortably fall on your side. A panda is not an architect. A panda is a minimalist. The main thing is that bamboo grows nearby, and bamboo is everywhere. Good luck. You spend your days alone, chewing, lying around, chewing, dozing, chewing, and sometimes just walking through the forest. But don't think it's an idol. You have new enemies, predators, people, competitors. With predators, it's simple. You're afraid of them. With people, you don't understand them. With pandas, you don't respect them. You have your own territory, even if it's only a bush and a half. And anyone who pokes their nose in gets a grunt. Living alone requires patience and thick fur, and you have both. You're not a hero. You're not a hunter. You're just a quiet, furry philosopher with a permanent chew of gum in his paws. You are about 5 years old now, and you're in the prime of being a panda. You weigh as much as a good refrigerator. You don't need a shell. You are protected by a layer of fur and calm. You have become what nature intended you to be, a black and white bamboo eating machine. But not a crude machine, a refined one, almost artistic. Eating bamboo is an art. You chew slowly, with an expression on your face as if you were tasting blue cheese and not a hard green pipe. Bamboo has become not just food, but the meaning of life. You know where it is soft, where it crunches, where it is especially juicy in the morning. You even have a favorite bush. Yes, you are that serious. You move slowly, very slowly. So slowly that sometimes ants offer you help. But you are not in a hurry. Haste is not about you. You have inner peace, a gaze into eternity, and a soft belly that sways with every step. People are starting to take an interest in you. Somewhere in the distance, cameras are clicking. Traps with food are being set up to watch. You don't mind. Let them watch. You're a panda in Zen. You are a furry icon of meditative living, and everything would be fine. But the air is changing. Spring is starting somewhere nearby, and that means there will soon be romance and drama. Spring doesn't come right away. At first, you just notice that the air smells different. The birds are louder, the bamboo is fresher, and a thought pops into your head. A strange one. You don't just want to lie belly up and chew. You want to find someone who is also black and white, someone who also grunts in the morning, someone who will understand. You get up and start searching, slowly, as always, but surely. There's a female nearby. You can feel it by the tracks, the sounds, and the atmosphere, but you're not the only smart one. A competitor appears. He looks at you with a come on expression, and you're like, come on. A panda fight is not a fight to the death. It's more like a battle between two plush tanks. You collide, roll, puff, accidentally chew on the same branch. The winner is the one who doesn't fall asleep first. This time, it's you. The female notices your awkward but confident gait. You approach, let out something between a roar and a plaintive cough. She responds with a snort. Romance. The date passes quickly. No candles, no music, but with some ancient importance. You circle, you sniff, you do what you have to. Then you go your separate ways, without hugging. You're not sure that everything went perfectly, but feelings are not the main thing here. Nature is happy, and that's the main thing. A few months have passed. If you're a male, you've already forgotten about the spring adventures and are back to living like a Buddhist refrigerator, chewing, sleeping, loneliness. But if you're a female, surprise. You now have a tiny squeaking disaster on your paws, sausage 2.0. You look at this tiny, pink, hairless miracle, and it takes you a while to realize that it is your baby. It moves, screams, gets lost under you, and you try to take care of it without accidentally crushing it. Because motherhood for a panda is not a schedule or manuals, but intuition and attempts not to crush the baby with your weight. Every minute is like playing on a minefield. You drag the baby around with your teeth, paws, belly. He always crawls in the wrong direction. Into the corner, under you, into the bowl. Squeaks on level ground. Sucks on your ear. Bites your nose. Falls. Gets up. Falls again. Sometimes you just sit and look at him with the expression, "What have I done?" But gradually you find a rhythm. He sleeps next to you, warm. You nudge him with your nose. It's not perfect, but it works. You're not a strict mom. You're soft, tired, fluffy care with circles under your eyes. And even if things don't go as planned, you try, because now you have a meaning, a small one, a squeaky one, and yours. You're in your 20s. In the panda world, that's not just age. It's status. You're a gray guru among black and white. Every hair in your fur is a scar of time. Every crease in your belly is evidence of hundreds of pounds of chewed bamboo. You're not in a hurry. You were never in a hurry before, but now it seems philosophical. Your gait has become even slower. Your movements lazier and your expression wiser. You have become a master of staring into space. Young pandas pass by and steal glances at you, as if they hope to one day sprawl gracefully under a tree. Sometimes one of them decides to test the old man and receives a lazy but confident grunt from you. A grunt with history. a grunt with authority. You don't climb trees anymore. Why? You know every rock in the area, every bamboo patch. You have a favorite place to sleep, a favorite bush to eat, and a tree you don't climb anymore, out of respect for your joints. Every now and then you remember your youth, the fights, the dates, the falls, and then you forget, not because you're old, but because you basically don't care. You're a panda. You survive, you're tired, and you're getting a well-deserved rest, softly, calmly, with a sense of a bamboo mission accomplished. You're not just a panda anymore. You're a legend, a myth, a national treasure with ears. Your face is printed on conservation posters, painted on kids' backpacks, burned into mugs, and in the hearts of millions. People travel halfway around the world to see you sleep, or chew, or just sit, and you don't mind. You're doing it without them. You are not a hero of epic battles. You did not save the world. You simply ate, fell, lived, and survived. And this was enough to become a symbol of caring for nature. Because despite all your absurdity, slowness, and complete lack of ambition, you stayed. You survived. When the world around you changed, made noise, hurried, you simply continued to be yourself. And this turned out to be valuable. Your life hasn't been easy. You were a pink sausage, fell from trees, couldn't find your food, lost your mother, fought for bushes, tried to love, and raised a squeaking lump. But you got through it all, softly, perseveringly, Panda style. Now you're lying under a tree. The sun is warming your sides. Somewhere in the distance, young pandas are making noise. Your descendants are just more fools with paws. And you closed your eyes. Not because it's the end, but because you feel good. And you know your story will remain.